Hello and welcome to Piwik PRO YouTube video series. Topic of the video: convert high-intent visitors into meeting with Piwik PRO CDP and Calendly. So what we're gonna learn? First, we're gonna explore briefly some ideas for how this setup could be used in different types of businesses. And then we're gonna go through the step-by-step instructions for how to set things up in CDP and Calendly. Quick note, Calendly has a free version so you can easily test this setup. There are also alternatives, including CRM integrated schedulers, but with CDP, their potential expands significantly. So at the very top level, what are we going to be doing today? We're going to create an audience in CDP. CDP lets you create a well-defined and targeted audience based not only on website data, but on any data that we have in sync with CDP. Then upon met conditions, a pop-up will be displayed with embedded Calendly calendar. And this is where user can schedule a call with one of your company's representatives, sales team member, account manager, product owner, customer success manager, or perhaps a person that would like to collect some feedback from users of your website. And the key benefit here is that you're not gonna just show your calendar to any stranger, but to people that might be worth the precious time of a given person in your organization. So what would be some good use cases? Well, first of all, we could be talking about users who we may already know because they already provided us with email addresses or some other universal identifiers. However, even if we don't, we could be still tracking user behavior and be able to know that the user is a returning visitor and what sort of interests brought them to our website based on their website behavior frequency and recency. And this is something that is rarely possible in any platform because they normally rely on the behavior within a given visit. And even then, they are normally based on some single interactions, which may or may not be of high intent. In other words, if someone is checking your premium offer several times across last week, perhaps they should be talking directly to your sales team rather than going through the bureaucratic process of filling out a form and waiting for the response from sales team, by which point they might have already moved on to competitors' alternative offer. Having said all that, here are a few more specific examples. So, already mentioned, sales calls for account managers, booking renewals and upsell opportunities. Having your CRM data synced with CDP, you could be offering the meeting with those of your clients that have not been using your product in, say, last few weeks or months and are visiting refund policy or some other high churn intent pages so that the account managers can get on a call and iron things out before it's too late. Or this could be some users that are browsing your online product like SaaS product and are interacting with some new feature, and the product team would like to know more about what they think about this feature and get the early feedback. Or perhaps you have clients that might be getting you a huge chunk of revenue and they deserve a premium attention from support team on the call. You simply cannot lose those clients. So when they frequently visiting certain pages in your help center, let's say, because they struggle with something, you could wow them and offer them help on the call. And now let's get to the part where I explain step-by-step instructions. So what's my use case? I'm gonna have a very simple use case. Let's pretend I'm a bank, and on my banking website, I want our finances specialist to be able to schedule a call with people who are interested in finance-related products. Now, let's say anybody who is going to finances related blog posts, so ones that have finances blog post category more than say 2 times, we would want to serve them a pop-up with the Calendly meeting. So that's my use case. First step would be to go to customer data platform and create such audience. Again, my audience is very simple, but this could be some more elaborate, more specific and targeted audience. In my case, I already created one, so let's just click on edit. In here, I have this condition when somebody goes to blog post category that is finances more than 2 times. So that's the frequency in the last 3 days. So that's the recency. Those can be changed, obviously. And then here as well. So when those conditions are met, pop-up will be served. So let's save the audience. Now, second step is we need to go to Tag Manager and add a tag. And in our case, we're going to be using a pop-up tag template. Let's hit next and let's call it Calendly meeting pop-up. In here, we have a template, and in that template, the content should go in the line 6, in my case, just under that comment. Where do we get the appropriate code? We need to go to Calendly, and in Calendly, we can create an event or a one-off meeting poll, etc. I already created one, and that the type is event. So let's just give it a quick look. This is how it looks like. Here are the settings. But the important part is once you create your sort of pop-up and how it's going to look like, click on share and then go to add to the website. In here, you have all different options, but in our case, we want to use the inline embed. So I'm going to click on that. We're going to hit continue. There are certain things that you can change here. Now, I would need to upgrade my subscription to be able to change the colors and other things, but I'll leave it as it is. Another thing that you may want to pay attention to is the hide cookie banner. If you want the Calendly to take the responsibility for data and privacy, you can leave it unchecked, but that's gonna show up a consent banner, cookie banner, if you will, within the pop-up. If you don't want that to be shown, you can uncheck that, but that would have to be addressed in your privacy policy and so on. So I'm gonna check that box, and then in here, I'm just gonna copy the code. That code goes into this tag like that. However, it is quite likely, very likely, that you're going to have to change the styling in here. We have CSS styling in here. Now, I already done that. So rather than just showing you how you can change CSS, which is not part of this overview video, so I'm just going to delete that code, which is based on that template. And I'm going to enter the code that I edited to show my pop-up appropriately. So I'm going to now add the tag, and now we need to add a trigger. You can change the consent settings. I'm going to leave them as they are. I'm going to add a trigger, audience detection trigger. Next, let's give it a name. I'm going to leave this as it is. And I'm under audiences. I'm going to click visitors from the audience. Audience is, and I'm going to use Calendly pop-up finance product call. And I'm going to add it, and I need to also save it. Now, before we publish it, which is when it is actually going live, I want to check it in a debug mode. So I'm going to click on debug. I'm going to hit connect. And now we need to meet the conditions of the audience. So we need to perform the event, just go into the blog post category, finances, more than 2 times in the last 3 days. So if I'm going to do it within a few minutes, that will tick the box of that condition. So in debug mode, which is now, we need to go to blog, and under finances, I'm going to go to that page and I'm going to refresh it a few times. So we can see that the calendar is being shown. I could click on it. I can see the time. I can hit next. I can fill in the form, and I can schedule event. You can also notice in audience that if I were to refresh it, I can see the profile, and that's my profile, and we can see all the data of the person to which the pop-up was served. The final step would be to go to Tag Manager and publish all the changes, and basically that is how you set up a Calendly pop-up with the use of CDP.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to our channel. Check the description below to find some useful links like free Piwik PRO sign-up page, community forum page, and links to related videos. Until next time.